Hey, what is up guys? I'm Double IB and those are my predictions for week 15 of the NFL. In the first game of this week, on Thursday night, we had the Los Angeles Chargers playing against the Kansas City Chiefs. Those two teams are in the AFC West and they will be battling for the first spot in the division. Those two teams are playing amazing this year and they both have some great offenses. For the Los Angeles Chargers, they have Philip Rivers at quarterback, a veteran, and he is surrounded with key pieces. He has Melvin Gordon at the running back position, but he's injured right now. But he will be back for the playoffs, and he will maybe play for this game, but he's not expected to play. After that, he has some really good wide receivers in Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, and his offensive line is playing really good. So the offense of the Chargers is really good, and their defense also is playing really good. They have Melvin Ingram and Joey Bosa to rush the quarterback, and just by those two guys, he will make a lot of pressure to the quarterback of the other team, and he will help the defensive of the LA Chargers. On the other side, we had the Kansas City Chiefs. Their offense is also amazing. They have Patrick Mahomes at quarterback, a young quarterback who has a lot of potential in this league. After that, he's surrounded with some also key pieces. He has Travis Kelce at the tight end position, and you also have Tyreek Hill at the wide receiver. So those two teams are loaded on the offensive side, and their defense is also playing really good. And this game will be a really interesting game. This game will be played in Kansas City, so the Chiefs will have the advantage. Playing in the Arrowhead Stadium, one of the most loudest in the league, they will clearly have the advantage, and that's why I feel like they will win this game by a score of 28-24. For the next game on Saturday in the afternoon, we have the Houston Texans playing against the New York Jets. This game will be played in New York, but the Jets don't have a really good team. This year is not the year for them, but the Houston Texans on the other side, they're playing really good this year. The Texans lost last week in a close game against the Indianapolis Colts, but still, this team is playing really good, and I don't feel like they will have some difficulties playing against the New York Jets. The Houston offense is playing really good, and playing against the New York Jets team that has a lot of struggle this year, I feel like there will be no problems for the Texans winning this game. So that's why I will give them the win by a score of 28-14. In the next game on Saturday night, we had the Cleveland Browns playing against the Denver Broncos. The Cleveland Browns won last week against the Carolina Panthers, and their defense played really good in this game. And their offense also played really good. On the other side, the Denver Broncos are also playing really good this past few weeks. They are in the race to make the playoffs this year, but I don't feel like they will have a chance. But still, they are still in the run to make the playoffs. The Broncos lost last week to the 49ers, and playing this game at home against the Cleveland Browns will clearly be an advantage for them. Last week they lost against the 49ers on the road, so this week playing at home, it will clearly help them. I feel like their team will be ready to play this game. It will be on prime time because this game will be played on Saturday night. So that's why I feel like the Broncos will have the advantage in this game. But still, it will be a really close game because the Cleveland Browns are playing really good this year. Still, they're playing better at home than playing on the road. But still, they're a really good team, and I feel like they could bring some competition to the Denver Broncos in this game. But the Broncos will win this game by a score of 28-21. And now we are back with our normal schedule. We have the Arizona Cardinals playing against the Atlanta Falcons on Sunday. Those two teams are not playing really good this year, and they both lost last week in their games. The Falcons had a really high hopes to make the playoffs this year and maybe go to Super Bowl because this year the Super Bowl will be played in Atlanta, but they didn't achieve what they hoped so. On the other side, the Arizona Cardinals, we knew that this will be a tough year for them by playing with a rookie quarterback in Josh Rosen, but still, I hope that they will have played better than they're playing right now. Their team is not really good. They lost Christian Kirk, their primary receiver of their team, due to an injury, and Josh Rosen has some bright moments, but still, he has a lot of development to do in this league. Playing a game against the Atlanta Falcons, a team who has more experience in the league, I feel like for the Arizona Cardinals, it will be a tougher task for them. So that's why I'll give the win to the Atlanta Falcons by a score of 24-12. For the next game, we had the Oakland Raiders playing against the Cincinnati Bengals. The Raiders surprised us last few weeks by playing some really good games. 2 weeks ago, they fought well against the Kansas City Chiefs by losing in a close game, and last week they beat the Pittsburgh Steelers at the end of the game by blocking a field goal. This week they'll play against a team that's not playing really good also in the Cincinnati Bengals. Those two teams are not really good, and right now the Cincinnati Bengals are completely devastated with some injury. They lost their starting quarterback in Andy Dalton and their wide receiver, their star wide receiver in AJ Green. Playing against the Oakland Raiders, who are playing really good lately, I feel like the task for the Cincinnati Bengals will be harder for them. So that's why I'll give the win to the Oakland Raiders by a score of 17-10. In the next game, we have the Miami Dolphins playing against the Minnesota Vikings. The Dolphins won last week in a surprising way against the New England Patriots at the end of the game by a desperate play that is now called the Miami Miracle. On the other side, the Minnesota Vikings lost last week against the Seattle Seahawks, a close game that was lost on a close game that was played until the third quarter. But after that, the Minnesota Vikings completely fell off and they lost that game 21-0 against the Seattle Seahawks on Monday night. The Seattle Seahawks are playing really badly against some team who has some winning records this year. And this week they'll play against the Miami Dolphins, a team that's right now 7-6 and has a winning record. The experience tells us that the Minnesota Vikings will lose this game because they're playing against a team who has a winning record. But still, the Miami Dolphins are not the greatest team this year. They start the season really well by winning 3 games, and after that they start falling off. Playing at home against the Miami Dolphins, it will be a chance for the Minnesota Vikings to win a game against a team who has a winning record. So that's why I'll give them the win, because they're playing at home, and with Kirk Cousins at quarterback, that's not really showing us a lot of good things, and he's showing us that the big contract that he received was not really that important for them, for the Minnesota Vikings to give him, because he's not playing as well as expected. But still, this game has to show that his contract is worth it, and that he could win some game against some winning teams. So that's why I'll give the win to the Vikings by a score of 24-14. In the next game, we had the Dallas Cowboys playing against the Indianapolis Colts. The Dallas Cowboys are on fire right now. Playing against some good teams and winning those games is showing us that the Dallas Cowboys are playing really good lately, and they in first place in the NFC East, and they have a good chance to win this division. They will play this week against the Indianapolis Colts, who is also a team that's playing really good this past few weeks. They won last week against the Houston Texans, but a week prior to that game, they lost against the Jacksonville Jaguars in a close game, and they didn't score a single point in that game. But still, last week they bounced back by winning against the Houston Texans, and this week playing against the Dallas Cowboys will be a really good game to see. Those two teams are on fire right now, and this game will be really interesting to see. The Colts will play this game at home, but I feel like the Dallas Cowboys is a team that is playing really good lately, and they will have the advantage in this game against the Indianapolis Colts. So that's why I'll give the advantage to the Dallas Cowboys. Their offense is playing really good, and as well as their defense. Their kicker, Brett Maher, is also playing really good the past few weeks. He didn't start the season as strong as expected, but lately he's doing the job. So that's why I'll give the win to the Dallas Cowboys by a score of 24-21. In the next game, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers playing against the Baltimore Ravens. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers team is playing really good. Last week they almost beat the New Orleans Saints, but the Saints played really well in the fourth quarter and they came on the top. On the other side, the Baltimore Ravens are a team that's also really dangerous right now. Playing with Lamar Jackson at quarterback, a rookie quarterback, who is playing right now he's right now the best rookie quarterback in the league. And last week they played against the Kansas City Chiefs, one of the greatest games last week. The Kansas City Chiefs won that game in overtime, but still we don't have to forget that Lamar Jackson and his team played really well in that game. The Baltimore Ravens offense is heavily based on the running ability of Lamar Jackson, and playing this week against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers team, who has a really good front four with Mike McCoy, the key piece of this defensive line. I feel like Lamar Jackson will have some struggle in this game, but still, playing at home in front of his fans, he will have the advantage of the crowd. And finally, I think that the that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will have some struggle on offense because Jameis Winston is playing good lately, but playing against the Baltimore Ravens defense, one of the greatest in the league right now, you will struggle a little bit. So I feel like the Baltimore Ravens and their team will have the advantage in this game, so they will win it by a score of 24-20. In the next game, we had the Detroit Lions playing against the Buffalo Bills. Last week, the Lions won their game against the Arizona Cardinals. This win was not really impressive because the Cardinals are not the greatest team in the league right now. On the other side, the Buffalo Bills lost last week against the New York Jets. Josh Allen is running the ball a lot and he's playing also really good. This Detroit Lions team has really their ups and their downs. Some weeks they'll play really good and being the New England Patriots, and some other weeks they'll lose the games against some really poor team. So that's why I feel like the Detroit Lions are not the greatest team in the league. Still, they have won some really key games, but playing some games that are not really good. I feel like this game against the Buffalo Bills could be closer than people expected. Still, I feel like the Detroit Lions will come in this game on top because they have a much better team surrounding Matthew Stafford, and Josh Allen has not a lot of key pieces around him. So that's why he's running the ball so much. So the Detroit Lions will win this game by a score of 21-20. In the next game, we have the Green Bay Packers playing against the Chicago Bears. The Packers are not playing really good, but the Chicago Bears, they are playing a really good year. They have a really good year. Last week they beat the Los Angeles Rams on Sunday night, but they were playing this game at home, so this game was not as key to the Los Angeles Rams because going into the playoffs, the Rams will have clearly the number 1 seed or the number 2 seeds, and when they will play against the Chicago Bears, they will have the home advantage. So the Chicago Bears played a really good game last week, but I hope that they will win that game in a bigger way. But still, beating the Los Angeles Rams is a fact that not a lot of teams could have done. In this week, playing against the Green Bay Packers, I feel like the Chicago Bears will have the advantage. Even if last week the Green Bay Packers have won their game against the Atlanta Falcons, but still, the Falcons are also a team that's not playing really good this year, and the Green Bay Packers have won that game by a big way. But playing this week against the Chicago Bears, a division rival who is in the first seed of this division, I feel like the Green Bay Packers will have some troubles in this game. Mitchell Trubisky and his offense are playing really good, as well as their defense is playing right now. I feel like the Bears defense is one of the greatest in the league this year. And playing against the Green Bay Packers offense, who only has Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams, I feel like the Chicago Bears will win this game easily by a score of 27-20. In the game after that, we had the Washington Redskins playing against the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Redskins are playing with their third-string quarterback in Mark Sanchez, and he really showed last week against the New York Giants by losing in a big way. They'll play this game against the Jacksonville Jaguars, a team who also is playing with their backup quarterback in Cody Kessler. But they're not playing with their backup quarterback because their starting quarterback was injured. It is because Blake Bortles is not playing really good this year, and he completely ruined the chance of the Jacksonville Jaguars team to make the playoffs this year. Last week, the Jacksonville Jaguars lost their game against the Tennessee Titans, but the Tennessee Titans team was playing really good, and their running plays were also amazing. Derrick Henry was amazing in that game, and the Jacksonville Jaguars team could not do anything against him. So this week, they will play against the Washington Redskins team, who has Adrian Peterson at the running back as also really good running back, but still, I feel like the Jacksonville Jaguars will have the advantage because the opposing quarterback is Mark Sanchez, and I really have some tough time giving a win to a team that has Mark Sanchez at their starting quarterback position. So that's why the Jacksonville Jaguars will win this game by a score of 24-12. For the next game, we have the Tennessee Titans playing against the New York Giants. The Titans won last week against the Jacksonville Jaguars, as I said earlier, in a big way. Derrick Henry was amazing on the running offense, and the Jacksonville Jaguars defense could not do anything against him. On the other side, we also have a really good running back with the New York Giants in Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley is running to be the offensive rookie of the year, and he's really showing us the past few weeks. Last week against the Washington Redskins, he played an amazing game, and this week playing against the Tennessee Titans, front defensive line that's not the greatest in the league. I feel like Saquon Barkley will have another feast this. I feel like Saquon Barkley will have another feast this week. Eli Manning has to throw the ball a lot because Saquon Barkley is showing us that he's a really good running back. And this week I feel like Odell Beckham will be back, so the Giants team will be back at their 100%. Playing against the Tennessee Titans, I feel like the Giants will have the advantage, and they'll play this game at home, so the Giants will win this game by a score of 24-20. In the next game, we had the Seattle Seahawks playing against the San Francisco 49ers. Those two teams won last week. The Seattle Seahawks won by pitching a shutout against the Minnesota Vikings, and the San Francisco 49ers won a big game against the Denver Broncos. This game could be a really interesting game. We had those two teams who are playing in the NFC West, so they're divisional rivals, and when two rivals play one against each other, we usually don't know what to expect. This week, I feel like this game could be closer than people expected. The Seattle Seahawks will win this game, that's for sure, but this game could be really close. The San Francisco teams played a really good game last week against the Denver Broncos, and this week they'll play this game at home. So playing against the Seattle Seahawks, a good team at home, it will be another advantage for the San Francisco 49ers by closing up this game. At the end, I feel like the Seahawks will win this game, but we have to watch this game by telling us that the San Francisco team is a really good team, and they could really surprise us in this game. But still, the Seahawks are a way better team than them, so that's why I'll give them the win by a score of 28-20. In the next game, we might have the game of the week. We have the New England Patriots playing against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Those two teams lost last week at the last seconds of the game. For the New England Patriots, they lost in what is now called the Miami Miracle, and for the Pittsburgh Steelers, they lost at the last seconds by having a field goal blocked by the Oakland Raiders. Those two powerhouse teams lost against teams that are not some really good teams, so this week they will want to play a really good game. The New England Patriots is a team that's playing really good come December. This week they will play against the Pittsburgh Steelers, a great rival and one of the greatest game rivalry we've seen in the past few years. The Pittsburgh Steelers team is a really good team, but the New England Patriots are playing really good against them in the past few years. The New England Patriots always had the number of the Steelers. I feel like this week will be the same, but this week will be a way closer game, a closer game. This game I feel like will go in overtime, and the team of the New England Patriots will win this game by a big way in the overtime, and showing us that they're really a Super Bowl contender this year. I have the New England Patriots winning this game by a score of 29-23. In the next game on Sunday night, we had the Philadelphia Eagles playing against the Los Angeles Rams. The Eagles are not playing really good this year. Right now they have a losing record, and playing against Los Angeles Rams, a really good team this year and one of the Super Bowl contenders, it will be a really hard task for the Philadelphia Eagles. The Rams team is playing really good this year, and playing this game at home against the Philadelphia Eagles, I don't feel like they will have some struggle in this game. Last week the Rams lost a game against the Chicago Bears, also on Sunday night, but this week they'll play a game at home. Playing in front of their fans, I feel like the Rams will clearly have the advantage. The Philadelphia Eagles team is not playing really good, and I think Carson Wentz will not play in this game, so this will clearly be another advantage for the Los Angeles Rams team, who didn't need that for winning this game. Still, the Carson Wentz is injured, and the Los Angeles Rams will win this game. I'll give them the win by a score of 26-14. In the final game of this week on Monday night, we had the New Orleans Saints playing against the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers started the season strong by having a 6-2 record, and after that they lost 5 games in a row, and now they're stuck with a 6-7 record. They'll play this game against the New Orleans Saints, their divisional rival, and the winner of the NFC South this year. The Carolina Panthers have really struggled the last few weeks. The Cam Newton in his offense is playing okay, but their defense is not able to contain their opponent. playing this week against the New Orleans Saints, one of the hottest team in the league this year and in this moment. The Carolina Panther team will really struggle this game. Even if this game is played at home and on prime time, I feel like the Saints is a much better team, and no matter what the circumstances, the Saints will have the advantage in this game. So that's why I'll give them the win by a score of 31-20. Okay guys, thank you for watching my video. Those were my predictions for the week 15 of the NFL. I hope you guys enjoy it. I'm Double IB, I'm out.